Give me 37 minutes and you'll never have to start over again. Have you ever reached a point in life and had the thought, why does it feel like I always have to start over? Like you're tired of rebuilding yourself again and again. On tonight, I'm joined with a guest. Her name is Rugsby, and she knows this feeling deeply. She knows what it's like to start a brand and have to start it over. She knows what it's like to build herself from the ground up only to be met with new obstacles, new circumstances. And she knows what it's like to have to do it over and over and over again. But worse, when she tells family and close friends what her vision is, what her passion is, they don't even get it. And so tonight, we are not here for a fix. We are here for a breakthrough. As always, if you're ready to live free beyond fear, welcome here. I'm Dr. Shawn, and I believe you do not need years to heal. You just need one real breakthrough. That's why I invented Transcendent Psychology, and I tested in the real world, on real people, on my game show, Countdown to Breakthrough, the only game show that heals your soul. And so right now, what I want to do is jump straight on over to my conversation with Rugsby. We're going to begin, and I'm going to go ahead and dial her in.
Yeah, my name is Raisby. I'm 35 years old from Compton, California. I'm into fashion. I have a fashion brand. When I first started, it was like 2013. I started with mock-ups. I started with I started my brand, the second brand was just a flyer and me promoting it. Like, this is what I'm selling. People believed in me and I just started getting donations. Yeah, I was basically a bit naive because I was just, I don't know, I'm an artist. I'm happy to put my work out. And it was just the incident when like my mentor like put his name on all my stuff instead of being the investor. And that was one of my big falls right there.
When at the moment that this person came to you and started saying, yeah, I need a piece of this. And matter of fact, I
Yeah.
want to start trying to take the vision a little bit. I think we could do it this other way, and it's better this way. Like, when did it start to feel like, okay, I'm kind of tired of having to rebuild and start over? Like, when did that feeling come through?
It came through when I didn't have all my paperwork with my name on it. It'd be like people like from other states like selling my clothes with my logo on it type thing.
Hold on. So you
Certain
telling me that
ways to promote it.
somebody took the brand and started reselling the brand?
Yeah, some basically like I guess they seen the logo on there and they seen I had a clothing line. They basically was just selling it. Like, it was a guy, I think he was in Tennessee. Went to his page. When I clicked on the brand, I'm like, what? They got the same name. It was another person page. It wasn't my brand page. So when I clicked on that page, I seen that it was somebody in Tennessee that stole the thing. Stole the logos and shit. They was selling it. They had other people out there wearing it that they sold it to. I see all of that on their page. Like, it's crazy. And then there was another guy in New York did the same thing. When I got my investor that I was with, the guy that was trying to be my investor, he was trying to come in and get percentages of it, like take over it. I'm like, no, that's not what I wanted. I don't want you taking over it. I want you to invest in me. So I'm like, I don't even want to do this no more. If I can get past that feeling of people of not being able to trust, that trust feeling, like if I can trust, then that'd be the thing that I can get past.
You said
Basically,
some powerful things that, like, when you're a kid, you basically trust everything. As you
yeah,
get
you
out here and
trust
get into the
everything.
world, you start seeing, oh wait, well damn, like, what I'm saying, this dude, he doing some snake type stuff, and they want to
Yeah,
take the vision, they want to appropriate, they want to, what I'm saying? And so it's
they
like,
take the
okay,
good
that's
away
starting to
from you.
weigh
Like,
in.
they take the good in you away when people when like you stop trusting, like, because it makes you not the uptight person. You be like paranoid more.
you know how precious the gift you've been given is. This ability to see things that don't yet exist and be able to create them so that they become gifts to other people. You know what I'm saying? And so you've got this superpower,
Yeah.
and the deal is that somebody else can. You're saying that you're experiencing trust issues because to you, you know that that power is sacred. So for
Yeah.
somebody else to come through and start trying to bend and twist it and manipulate and try and profit
Manipulated.
off of it, even at your expense, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? That feels like
Yeah.
a divine violation in a sense. And so I'm hearing you say that it starts to take the good out of you when you shut down your heart and you can no longer trust somebody else. You can't really trust that, the next investor, the next business partner. You want a contract that's so airtight that you're not even thinking about trusting. You know what I'm saying? But what happens is you stop seeing the human, you start thinking about the contract. Okay, well, what can I get? I want to make sure he don't take my idea. I want to make sure he don't my IP is protected. I want to make sure, and at a point, it stops being just about business, and that kind of trust issue can seep over into relationship. It can seep
Yeah.
over into, you know what I'm saying, spouse, brother, sister, but you know what I'm saying? Like, because
Yeah.
that trust issue can become corrosive. And so tonight, let's handle that. When we feel like we have to rebuild ourselves over and over again, it's because life is taking us on these ups and downs. We get a little success, and then we meet somebody who betrays us. A little bit more success, and then we meet somebody who lets us down. What's the principle that Rugsby's story is sharing with us tonight, is showing us tonight, revealing to us tonight? I like to teach from principle. If I understand the principle of how something works, then I can create my own path. I can create my own pattern. I can find my own way. Tonight, Rugsby revealed that in the aftermath of feeling like she's always starting over and over again, always rebuilding herself over and over again, what she quietly learned was that she couldn't trust other people, which meant that she quietly believed that she had something sacred that could be stolen. She couldn't trust other people because they might steal, which means that there's a quiet belief that that which is truly valuable to her, that which is most potent, that she worked so hard for, that is divinely sacred, there's a subtle belief that that itself could be stolen. But by the end of the exercise, as I go in and I use the kit, remember, kits are conscious transformation technologies, our ability to consciously transform our experience of life using the tools or technologies that I literally just took Rugsby through. I'm in it with her and I'm experiencing this principle step forward. The principle is this. This is crazy. Okay, so check it out. Check it out. I'm gonna show you what I just put down in just a second. But what's crazy, remember last week I showed y'all the breakthrough binder is what I think I called it. And yo, this is so crazy. So today's the 25th, but I was up at 6 a.m. on the 24th, which was, yesterday morning. It might have been maybe 5 or 4 in the morning. And I wrote down this quote right here. I don't know if y'all can even read that. I'll just read it for you. It just is this tonight's my first night meeting Rugsby, but this just popped up. It says, you cannot steal what is truly valuable. I mean, I BS you not, champ. I literally, I date every single one of these downloads that I get. Every single, and I mean, the whole book is filled with them. You feel me? Like the whole book is filled with them. But literally, we're talking about, here's a woman. I literally just met Rugsby tonight, 10 minutes before this show went on. I had no idea that she was about to say the things that she said, and yet here we are. And just nearly 48 hours ago, about 40 hours ago, I wrote down, you cannot steal what is truly valuable. See, Rugsby was going through a situation where she had people taking advantage of her. She had people looking to steal her brand. Cats in Tennessee, cats in New York. Somebody sees the traction and they like, oh shoot, let me go ahead and jump up on it too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll go ahead and give you this 5. But we're gonna need to curtail the vision. We're gonna need to make it this way. We're gonna need to make it that way. You know what I'm saying? And she feels like, wait, I'm an artist. I have to stay in control. I have to continue to do what's necessary. I can't do that if you co-opt. I can't do that if you steal. So she feels like she's having to rebuild because there's a little bit, oh, I finally meet somebody who believes in me. Now they're trying to steal from what? I finally start getting traction. Now people stealing in Tennessee. I'm in LA. And here we go. Me scratching this out in the middle of the night, early morning, that says you cannot steal what is truly valuable. And just underneath that, it says that love is the only real asset. This says you cannot steal what is truly valuable. And just underneath it, it says love is the only real asset. I can't, you may not be able to see and actually read it, but I know you can read this, which is tonight's principle. Tonight's principle, make sure I make this extra clear for you. Nothing truly valuable can be stolen. If we understand tonight's principle, that nothing truly valuable can be stolen, oh boy. You cannot steal what is truly valuable. This is the download that I got from consciousness the other night. This is what Spirit is giving me the other night. I keep saying night. I know it was morning, but you know what I'm saying? I was waking up and I do not be up that early. So, but you cannot steal what is truly valuable. If we understand that principle, that doesn't mean that you don't put your paperwork in order. It doesn't mean that you don't provide and set up the necessary structure. It does mean it does mean that you redirect the sense of value that was externalized, that you thought somebody could steal, and redirect that sense of value back to yourself, back to that sacred space, back to the God within you. Ooh, you're redirecting the sense of value that you formerly externalized, that you wanted to protect with all of this legal capacity, with the lawyers and all the structuring and all the LLs. Like, okay, you wanted to protect it because you believed that it was external. But what I'm suggesting for you is that the value is actually internal, that your value cannot be stolen, that nothing of true value can be stolen. It's a lot easier to trust people once I understand that I don't need to psychologically try and guard myself. I don't need to psychologically try and close myself off from somebody else, believing that my value is external in the first place. Not when I understand that nothing that is truly valuable can be stolen. And we know that what is truly valuable is that love experience that we just took Rugsby through. That sense of mistrust all of a sudden falls into relief, all with a love that she came with, all with a love that she had in her. Did you hear her talk about her brands? There may be a lot of reasons that she does it. But it seemed to me that love was one of them. So it don't really matter. The creation process is ongoing. It continues. Okay, so we understand our principle for the evening. That nothing truly valuable can be stolen, because if someone is so creative as to be able to create something once, if someone is so creative as to be able to be given this divine impulse to create something once, can they do it again? We have an entire financial and legal system that's all about externalizing value. The entire field of finance is literally about quantifying the value of everything. How can we financialize everything so that we can bracket, put it in a hierarchy, finance it, figure out how to borrow against it, how to loan against it, how many resources we can invest in a thing. You dig what I'm saying? Like the entire thing, the entire model of our financial and legal structures is all about externalizing value. It's all about saying the value is out there. That this person may have created this wonderful thing, but the value is not in the person. We can chip him up. You know what I'm saying? We can kill the person. Let's just go ahead and take what they built. That literally is one of the psychological traps that modern society is caught up in, the exercise of externalizing value. Rather than seeing the value inside of the frequency which operates through people, which operates in nature. Cats see the final product and say, all right, well, let's go ahead and take that, believing that that's the value. What if we were to change our orientation? The biggest thing that your enemy wants to do is make sure that you see the value in external events, in external situations, in things that are for purchase in a store, rather than seeing the value in yourself and in your people. So people spend all day at work chasing externalized value, chasing cash so they can go and get things that are of externalized value, things that can be put in stores. Electricity that can be piped into houses. You dig what I'm saying? Rather than seeing the fact that, wait, man, most of human history, we ain't even lived like this. We lived in a different kind of way. And that perhaps the value that we were giving to the world and to its things, perhaps that value was itself borrowed value. It's value that comes from It's value that comes from us. It's value that we're placing onto objects, which means that were we to step back, we would see that nothing truly valuable can be stolen. And so that's our principle for the evening. Let's get to the pattern. What's the pattern for tonight? So we see the principle, nothing truly valuable can be stolen, but what's the pattern? I like understanding pattern recognition. I like understanding what is the pattern behind a phenomenon, because once I see the pattern behind a phenomenon, I can interrupt that pattern. If I can interrupt that pattern, I can redirect that pattern, break that pattern, recreate that pattern. So I like to be able to see the pattern of things. So what's the pattern for the night? In other words, why did we get into a situation like this in the first place? Where we have a hard time trusting people, constantly feel like we're starting over, have a hard time trusting ourselves, constantly feeling like we're having to rebuild and start over. What's the pattern behind that? Oh, I got it. We already said it. Oh. The pattern is merely this. The reason that we get tired of having to rebuild ourselves over and over again is because we're chasing an externalized value. We are constantly externalizing value. The reason we cannot trust people because we think they're going to steal our stuff is because we have externalized the value of ourselves and made it attached it to our stuff. We keep engaging in this process of externalizing value. This is the pattern for the evening. We keep engaging in this process of externalizing value. If you constantly feel like you're starting over, I wonder if it's because you are comparing yourself to a standard of value that exists outside of yourself, that exists outside of the divine matrix. I say that exists outside of God. And when I say God, I don't mean guy in the sky. I mean the basic basis of reality. I wonder if it's because you're chasing an object, a dream, because you think that it's going to give you more status, that's going to make you richer, and that somehow by being richer, having more finances, your life will be more valuable because you'll be able to afford more things. Why? Because you have externalized the value of life. You have externalized value from being internal to being inside of things. This is called the process of extraction or externalizing value, projecting this deep sense of worth onto objects as if now they have the worth. Even the phrase, okay, we're constantly having to rebuild ourselves. That feeling of having to rebuild yourself, where's that come from? If the value was always in you, what you rebuilding? What needs rebuilding? If the value is always in you, what needs the rebuilding? You might say, okay, well, I do still need to create this project. I still do need to create this business. I still didn't do that. But the problem isn't just in rebuilding. The problem is in feeling like you're tired of having to rebuild yourself over and over again. But you can only become tired of having to feel like you're rebuilding yourself over and over again if you are trapped in this pattern of externalizing value, of saying, okay, I'm at point A and I've been trying to get to point B, but I've been failing. Or I've been trying to get to point C, but it's not really working. You're placing a premium on these steps, and the premium starts and stays with you. So you're placing a premium on these steps. I'm trying to, say I'm trying to do this, but then dang, this other thing happens over here, and now I got to get back up. We're placing a premium on these different goals, and when we don't hit them, we're externalizing value to these different goals, and when we don't hit them, damn. But if we would just remember that the value never left step one, the value never left you. Okay, so we have this notion of externalizing value. That's our pattern. The principle is that nothing valuable can ever be stolen. The pattern is one of us falling into trouble, getting tired of rebuilding ourselves, tired of starting over. But we start getting to the mental pattern behind that feeling of, wait, why am I tired of starting over? Oh, it's because I am externalizing value. I am believing that something in the future is going to save me, that there's going to be an item, an object, a financial statement, a house, a neighborhood, another person that's going to be so valuable to me that it's going to completely change my life. And so on my way to establishing that value, I got to protect myself, and I can't really trust the wrong people and all this different. The moment we forget that the value exists with us, all of a sudden, everything else that we do becomes a chase. And inevitably, in this universe, there is a law of rhythm, which means that when you get something, you lose something. When you get something again, you lose something. And guess what? You can go even higher, and you can start winning at a new level. You can start losing at a new level, right? There's a law of rhythm. None of that needs to be a problem. That's a part of what it means to be in this dimension, in this earth school. The power that's flowing through tonight and is helpful for me is this notion of, oh, we get into trouble when we start externalizing value, believing that the value is somehow outside of us. Okay, so excellent. So now we have the principle, we have the pattern. Now we need the path. What's the path forward? Now that we have this, what do we do with all this? We got the principle being that nothing valuable can ever be stolen. Excellent. The pattern where we get into trouble is when we start externalizing value, giving value to objects, even to dreams and outcomes that actually, when that value actually belongs to us. Rugsby is the one who puts the life in the brand. When people get it and enjoy it, that puts the life in the brand, but the value is with not the clothes, but someplace deeper. So what's the path forward? What's the path forward? As you know, I've been doing this thing where I don't know the principle, the pattern, or the path before I get on. So now we actually have to discover this path forward and make it so simple that you never forget it. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Crazy. Okay, this is 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning. Love is the only real asset. I could distill it all down to one piece. It's that same voice that came to me the other night, forcing me to get up, go into the other room, write it down on a sheet of paper in the dark, and suddenly it's available to you and now available to me in a new way. That love is the only real asset. So think about the exercise that Spirit had me take Rugsby through. Think about that exercise. We're in a room back in this memory, and this white light of love starts shimmering. It starts moving through. It starts transforming not just the memory, but Rugsby's relationship with the memory. Rugsby's relationship with this person who she previously saw as taking advantage of her. But more, we see that it was Rugsby's love for what she was doing that made people even vibe with her brand in the first place. You kept hearing her say, "Listen, I just love fashion. I just love fashion." It's like, well, she better love it in order to be doing it for 8 years, 6 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, in order to put that kind of time in, it's something that clearly it won't leave her alone. But what I'm saying is that very impulse to create that comes from this love, that comes from this sense of, yeah, of course I would. This is the right thing for me to be doing at this right moment. That's the asset. And what happens is that we can actually tune into that love, just as Rugsby just showed you, in order to change our relationship with our memories, with other people, and with ourselves. And notice that we did not have to go to the store in order to get this love, which means that it's renewable, an infinite supply. and always available with us. It is the value that we are looking to bring to other people in the first place. We don't want clothes made by machines. We want clothes made by somebody with a vision and who had the heart for bringing it forward. So you understand that this love is multimodal. It has us engaging in the right actions. It's fuel for engaging in the right action. And it is protection for helping us reorganize our relationship with our own memories, with other people, and with ourselves. For that reason, we say love is the only real asset. Love is the only real asset. And so when we put it together with our principle that nothing valuable can ever be stolen because that which is valuable is always with us. So if I understand that love is the only real asset, I have no need for externalizing value. I have no need for trying to point the value outside of myself. So I know what it is.